So hello guys, welcome to my new YouTube channel Manhwa Summers, and I've brought a manhwa for you all. At the start of the episode, we are shown a guy who's running inside, drenched in rain. He's just running and running. Now I don't know where he's going, obviously he's going home. Anyway, he reaches his home and while climbing the stairs, he starts feeling suspicious. Now I don't know what kind of suspicion, but anyway, we're shown with full focus that his foot is wet and all, like how it's shown in anime. As soon as he enters, he starts yelling. Now why is he yelling? I don't know what he saw. He sees a girl, and she's sitting with a sword. He's totally shocked seeing her, and the girl looks really good too. But he wonders how this girl even got here, to his house. He yells, "Who the heck is this?" He gets really scared. Who is this girl? Then he sees a key near her foot, or maybe near his own foot, I'm not sure. Anyway, the girl goes into a corner and he says, "Who is this girl?" Then he says, "She really scared me." The girl goes, okay, but doesn't really say anything. He starts staring at her and thinking, how did she even get here? Is she my neighbor? He keeps thinking and says, this girl is pretty. He looks at her sword and says, she's really pointing the sword like seriously. Then he notices her sandals and starts walking away. The girl says, hey stop. He goes, okay, this house is mine, not yours. Then he starts thinking, do I really look that bad that she doesn't like me? He feels like maybe he made her upset. But wait a second, why is she staring at me like that? Do I really look like a cow or something? But I'm a good guy. He keeps mumbling to himself and peeks through the half-closed door to see if she's still standing there. And from the side of the door, she's still visible. Then he closes the door completely. I mean, look at this guy, he just shut the door. Alright then, he takes off his slippers and starts drinking. Drinking like a cold drink or something, not beer. And then he starts calling his melon. Melon is his cat. He gives her food and starts thinking. His cat is this chubby, cute little thing. So he gets a cold drink and just sits there, thinking about what's going on. And what's up with that sword anyway? It's not even the age of swords anymore. He's thinking all this and then wonders, wait, my work's done, but is that girl still there? He starts imagining all kinds of things. Then he decides to go and check. He walks to the door and looks, is anyone here? No one's visible. He wonders where she went. Through the peephole, he checks and then opens the door. He thinks she must have left. But then boom, the girl is standing right in front of his face and says, to hell with you. He says, whoa, what are you looking at? She says, I think. Do you want to come into my house? He starts mumbling to himself again and says, okay fine, if you want to come in, you can. You also look hungry. She says, what is this place? He says, this is just a neighborhood road. She replies, what kind of road is that? She then asks, who are you? Like, who are you even? He says, whoa, call me, she says, you can call me Leafing. Then she says, you want an umbrella? You can take one, I'll give you. She looks at him like, what's with this guy? He's thinking, who is this girl? She says, I'm a disciple of Salt. He says, Salt? Is she sick or something? Then he says, forget it, I think I should take her to my room. He starts to leave, says he'll call security, and says, you can come too, it's very cold outside. While he's talking on the phone, his TV turns on. From outside, he hears a voice. It says little, and then he looks. The TV turns on, and on the screen they're saying, do you want a job? There's all this noise on the TV. The girl sees the TV and stabs it with her sword. Can you believe that? She actually stabs the sword into the TV. This girl is super old, like from way in the past. While he's talking on the phone, he says, I just heard a loud noise. Did something happen? He goes, no, nothing happened, but in reality, a lot happened. Then he apologizes, sorry to bother you. Now he sees that she stabbed the sword into the TV. He says, what is this? Isn't this a dangerous place? He says, what are you even doing? I'm a good guy. She says, so many people, where did they go? Where did they come from? She's thinking, where did these people even come from and where did they go? He thinks, maybe she's from a tribe or something backward like that. He says, first, please put down your sword. I'm a good guy, alright? I even offered you an umbrella. She looks at him and puts her sword away. He says, okay, what's your name? She replies, my name is Chief Man and I'm a member of the Salt Gang. He says, Salt Gang? What kind of gang is that? Where is it from? She says, you've never heard of the Salt Gang? She's getting angry. He says, I've never heard of it. What do you want? He stares at her from head to toe. She's wearing sandals. He says, whoa, okay, I'm not a bad person. She says, I want to go home. He says, okay. The girl asks, where is this place? He says, this is 𝙒𝙤𝙛𝙚 City. 𝙒𝙤𝙛𝙚 City. Now he's confused. What's going on here? I should tell her the emperor's name. He says, Hey Majesty, something like that. He says, who is Hey Majesty? Then he says, oh yeah, that's him. What kind of question am I asking? Then he asks, which year is this, by the way? Like, what kind of question is that? Then he says, okay, wait, give me a second. He starts searching on the internet on his phone to find out what year it is. I don't know what language he searches in. Then he says some name, Tan something, I don't know what he says. She says, yeah, that one. Do you know him? Where is he? Now she seems happy. The guy says, dude, that's in the past, in the books or something, I don't know. Then suddenly, the food delivery guy arrives. She's about to stab him with the sword, and the guy says, stop. He's just delivering food. He shouts, stop. He's not a bad guy. He came to give me food. Alright? Stop. You get angry too quickly. The girl says, oh, he's a servant? The guy replies, no, he's not a servant. He's just the food delivery guy. Then he says, okay, here you go. He says, you must be hungry. The girl says, no, I don't want food, but thanks for asking. The guy says, okay, no problem, I'm going to eat now. Just then, the girl asks, why do you all have short hair? The boy says, no, wait a minute, what do you all mean? The girl says, when I came, many of the guys had already cut their hair short. I came an hour earlier. Now the boy starts imagining, that means she must have fought off so many guys an hour ago. Then the boy asks, okay, but no one saw you, right? The girl says, no one saw me because I was in a dark place. The boy says, okay, good. The girl says, you still haven't answered my question. The boy says, how do I even tell you? He's thinking that. Meanwhile, the girl starts looking at his food and says, hey, what's this? The boy asks, do you want some? The girl says, no, I don't want it, but she keeps staring at the food. It seems weird to her, but also delicious, yet for some reason she doesn't eat it. I didn't understand why either. Anyway, the boy says, you're not going to eat this, to which the girl refuses. Then the boy says, okay, fine, at least you can have a drink, right? Won't you even have a drink? Now the girl says, do you want to kill me? Now I don't know why she said that. She pulls out her sword again. The boy says, what do you even want? Why do you get violent about everything? What do you want? This is a burger. The girl says, you didn't even tell me what it is to eat. The boy says, this is a hamburger. It's something people eat. Now she spills his drink on the floor. The boy says, what do you want? This isn't poison, okay? It's just a drink. The girl stands there with her sword drawn, and the guy, holding the drink, says, do you want to drink it? Do you even know how to drink? He's joking with her, just having fun with the situation, because honestly, no one could believe that a 1,200-year-old girl suddenly appeared in this era. Anyway, I don't know what thought this is based on, or what kind of idea they had while making this. The boy says, you don't have to scare me with your sword. I'm a good guy, okay? Got it? I'm a pretty good guy. Now he's praising himself. Then he says, you even scared Wintern. Now she says, Wintern? The boy starts thinking how hard it is to deal with this rude girl. Then he starts guessing that he has 3 options. First, just mind his own business, trick her out somehow, and a few days later news will come that someone dealt with her. The second option is to hand her over to the police, become the police's dog and say, she's a 1,200-year-old girl, etc. And he starts imagining the benefits he'd get, like this and that, just lost in his daydreams. Then he thinks, what if this girl becomes dangerous? Now he's blushing just thinking about it, covering his mouth with his hand. Then he thinks the third option is to just observe her for a while, and as soon as she becomes normal, then he'll think again. He's thinking, an ancient girl is now in his house. He's confused himself, how is this even possible? Then he walks off with determination and says, all right, fine. Then asks, do you want to eat this? Showing her something. And showing her the hot dog, like showing it towards the girl, and the girl refuses. Even though she's hungry, she still says no. Then he shows her something else. I don't know what these rolls or whatever are. The boy says, do you want to eat this? The girl says, yes, I do want to eat, but he takes 3 big bites. 1, 2, 3, and it's finished. And the girl just keeps staring. She must be thinking how rude he is. And the boy says, I'm guessing your body probably can't handle this kind of food. Why are you standing so far? You can come sit here too, you know? He says, you don't have to scare me with your sword. I'm a pretty nice guy. Now the girl says, I do want to sit, and she actually sits down. And the boy is just wondering what she really wants. Then the girl says, after all, this guy gave me an umbrella. Meaning, maybe this guy is okay. Then the girl thinks, this room is so weird. I can't even understand it. What is this guy even eating? He has a pet cat, he's doing this and that. Then she thinks, I'll have to be cautious around him. She asks, what place is this? The boy says, Qing City. Now the girl says, you have to explain to me where that is and where I am. Then again, she grabs her sword. The boy says, Yar, again with a sword? You need to keep your sword a little farther away, okay? You don't have to pick it up every time something happens. Then the girl says, I want to go home. She becomes sad. The boy starts looking at her, not sure how. Then he says, you can't go. We're too far from your place. She asks, how far? Now he starts explaining. Do you even know? We're 1,200 years away. We've come 1,200 years forward. The girl says, what do you mean? Now the guy starts explaining generation by generation, like, your ancestors, their ancestors. And honestly, I can't explain all this. It's too much trouble. Then the girl just stands there silently and says, what did you just say? The boy says, you might think I'm lying, but you'll find out slowly. By the way, doesn't anything here feel familiar to you? He says, I don't lie, okay? The girl says, you're lying. Now he says, you're a smart person. You can figure it out yourself. You must have your own judgment. He keeps repeating that he doesn't lie. The girl says, I don't believe you. And the boy says, 1 minute. Then again she sits down with her sword. I don't know, man. Why is she always sitting with her sword? Then the boy says, I already told you, you need to understand this world first. Put your sword down. Then the girl says, why do you even want to help me? Now the boy says, when I saw this winter, this cat, outside, I brought her in. Look at this fat cat. Now she says, fat cat? Do you want to bring me to my knees? Now the boy says, no, I don't want that. Then the girl starts thinking, he's just like normal people. Like an ordinary person who comes home and goes about his day. Anyway, then she asks, why do you want to help me? He says, to be honest, I'm just a little curious to know more about you. He starts imagining things again. And just then, the laddu seller's house comes into view. He's still lost in his fantasies. Then the girl says, you're going to die. She says that and the guy's face goes pale. He says, why do you want to kill us? We're peace lovers, okay? We're peace lovers. You can't go around killing everyone. I don't know how you even got here, and besides, you can't leave either. You'll have to slowly understand things. You can't just go around destroying everything. Anyway, the guy is thinking, is this a dream? I don't know. He's confused and looks at his sword and thinks, maybe it's a dream. And thinks about showing it to someone from the past or something. Then the girl comes out wearing the red t-shirt. Brother, she's looking really cute. Whoever designed this did a great job. Anyway, he's writing something, and the girl comes closer and asks, what are you writing? Now the boy says, oh, do you know? And the girl starts looking at it, and brother, she's looking too cute. Now the boy asks, can you read what I've written? She looks at it and says, no, I can't read it. It's very strange. And she says, this cloth is also very strange. Like so loose and big. And the boy says, hey, these are girls' clothes only. He gets shy and says, it's pretty good, you're looking really beautiful. The girl says, don't flirt, and he gets shy. Then he looks at her shoes, her slippers, that she's wearing, and they're really dangerous, brother. Made of wood. And the boy says, so cute. He says, my shoes are on the side, you can wear them. Just then she gets scared because someone is at the door. The boy says, hey, that's the food delivery guy, okay? Don't get scared like this. And he looks at her like a cat and says, this girl is crazy. Then the girl says, if a person wants to do something to you, they're definitely a thief. She says that to the guy but then says, but you're a really good person. Now the boy gets shy, he starts blushing. Brother, someone say this to me too, that I'm a good guy. Anyway, all that keeps happening. Then the boy says, "Did you manage your food?" The girl says, "Yeah, I think I did, yes." Then the boy says, "Oh, let's talk. You've come 1,200 years from the past, what's all this about?" He says, "It might be hard for you to accept, but okay. First of all, don't hurt anyone. Inside this house, no one can hurt you." Then he drifts off into a fantasy, saying, "Even if you kill me, you'll be safe for 7 days. After that, you won't be safe, okay?" Then he goes near the TV and says, "Look, this is a TV, okay? It creates sound and it's good for entertainment. It doesn't harm us." Then pointing at the phone, he says, "Look, this is a phone. We feel relaxed using it, okay? None of these things harm us and all of them are completely safe. Do you understand? I won't hurt you, okay?" Now after saying this, the girl starts looking at him and he says, "All of this is peaceful, but only until you're inside the house. As soon as you go outside, it might get complicated. But as long as you're inside, you're completely safe and you don't even need your sword, okay?" The girl says, "But why? Why am I not safe outside?" Then the boy says, "You're not safe outside because if you do anything troublesome, you'll be punished, okay?" Then he gets lost in his thoughts again. Then he shows her his ID card and says, "Look, I got this when I was born," and starts bragging about it, etc. And says, "If you get into trouble, do this, do that," basically shows a lot of rules of this world, about people, etc. Anyway, we won't discuss that now. He says, "Oh, I get it. Am I a refugee?" She's talking about jail, asking if she'll be jailed or something. The boy says, No, if you end up in jail, that means you're their servant, okay? You'll be their servant and that's really dangerous. For this world. Now she starts looking at him like, what's up with this world? Anyway, she doesn't understand much. Then he says, "Oh, I forgot, I'm with a girl." Then she starts asking, "How do I trust you? I need to go home. I don't want to trust you." Then the boy says, "That's up to you, whether you trust me or not. Anyway, it's all on you. If you cooperate, I'll be able to help you. Otherwise, I won't be able to help." He says it clearly in straight words. Now the girl starts looking at him again. "Brother, she's looking so cute." Anyway, the boy says, "First of all, you look really scary with that sword, so don't use it, okay?" Now she looks away and then back again. Then he says, "Do you have any other questions? If you have more questions, you can ask." Then the girl suddenly asks, "Where's your wife?" The boy says, "I'm completely single. I've been single for 20 years. I'm unmarried." The girl says, "Oh, you're unmarried?" Now the boy gets surprised and starts thinking, "What a fool I am. How can a boy and a girl stay alone together?" Then he puts his hand on his mouth, like covering his face, and starts thinking. Then he says, "Okay, I've got an idea." And he starts running, saying, "Follow me." He goes to the storeroom and says, "All the stuff I have, I store it in this storeroom. Though it's a bit dirty, I'll clean it up. This is the storeroom pick, kind of small, whatever it is." Anyway, he starts cleaning it, moving stuff around and placing it properly and says, "No worries, you can stay in the storeroom. These clothes are clean. The bed is clean, washed and neat, okay? Take it and sleep. And I believe you're confused right now, but once morning comes, everything will be fine." Now he thinks that maybe my dream, my illusion will also be fine, maybe it's possible. Then he says, "Anyway, no worries, bye. My name is 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙀, he says. "Alright, good night, bye-bye, 𝙗𝙗." And the girl starts watching him and is about to think something when he closes the door and leaves. Then the girl picks up the sword, sits on her bed, and just goes to sleep. Do you all also want to sleep? Then go to sleep, brothers. Good night. Anyway, now we're shown a night scene and the boy is thinking. He also goes to sleep and he's thinking, what is this scene, man? I don't understand. How did a 1,200-year-old girl end up with me? Now he's confused and thinking all this. He thinks, never mind, it'll be morning soon, and I'll be fine. I mean, this illusion of mine will also fade away. He says, maybe I'm dreaming or something. I don't know, man, what this is. Anyway, he's lost in his thoughts and wondering how he could have met an ancient girl. He starts getting a headache too. He holds his head and goes to sleep. Says, forget it, no worries. We'll see tomorrow. And then he falls asleep. Then we're shown a morning scene where he opens his eyes and wakes up. Okay, he opens his eyes slowly and after opening his eyes, he picks up the phone and sees the time. It's already 10 o'clock. Oh my god, it's already late. How did it get to be 10? His eyes widen. He says, by the way, what happened yesterday? Wait a second, is that girl still here? Now he gets off the bed and runs straight to check, and as soon as he rushes there, he sees the girl sitting right there. Now he's shocked, now he's happy. Wow, what happened yesterday was totally real. It was reality. Ahaha. Now the girl starts looking at him. She says, 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙀. Now she shouts towards him, and the guy becomes even happier. Wow, this isn't a dream. It's real. Then he coughs and comes closer. Says, you woke up so early. The girl says, it's already noon, you're very late. He says, okay, are you hungry? She says, yeah, I'm a little hungry. Then she says, wait a second, and asks the boy to wait for a bit. She goes inside, so fast that the guy doesn't even notice. She goes that fast and comes back just as quickly. The boy is shocked. Now she gives something to him and says, here, take this from me. Just don't complain, okay? She gives it to him. He says, oh, is this gold? Is it silver? The girl says, yeah, I want to give you this in exchange for staying at your house. And she tries to take off her locket to give him. The boy says, stop, wait. Don't give me all these things, okay? I haven't even gotten you home properly yet, so there's no need for this. And he says, anyway, I have to bring lots of stuff for you, daily use stuff, your clothes, etc. Then he says he's going to buy it. He quickly brushes his teeth, looks at his face in the mirror, does some grooming, fully gets ready. Then he says, let me quickly go and get clothes for her, this and that. He washes his face, doesn't bathe though. Anyway, washes face and comes to the clothing shop. He says, give me this, give me that, etc. He comes to purchase dresses. After 1 hour, tired, he comes out and says, man, I'm exhausted. And it really looks like he's tired from his face. Because look, he's carrying so much stuff in his hands. And man, who writes ABC on the packages? Anyway, maybe she doesn't know ABCD. Anyway, this guy is like, okay, time to make the payment. And the payment turns out to be 200 yuan total, for all the stuff. Anyway, he's thinking, let's just hope it's useful. I should go home now before it all goes to waste. Then we're shown his building, his home. On the way, he meets the security guard again. The guard asks, 𝙒𝙤𝙤𝙀, did you go shopping? He hides all the bags behind him. He says, yeah, I went shopping. The guard says, you made a call? The boy says, yeah, it was accidental, but it's okay. Then the guard says, did you eat? He says, yeah. Then the guard says, keep your windows and doors locked. A strange woman has been roaming around. The boy says, oh yeah, I'll remember. Anyway, he comes home and sees the girl standing there with a sword. He says, hey, I told you already, don't react like this. Then he says, I brought some stuff for you, check it out. He says, let's eat first. He asks, won't you say anything? The girl says, what? The boy says, don't you think I'm a good person? Or a young warrior or something? Or thank you. He says, don't I look like a young warrior to you? The girl says, what kind of behavior is this? She says, yeah, thank you, but young warrior? And this guy gets irritated in his own mind. What kind of human is she even? Anyway, food talk is going on. He says, let's eat. And the girl is eating very fast. Obviously, she's been hungry since yesterday. And he starts looking at her lovingly, like really lovingly. Anyway, they are eating and drinking. You guys eat too, brothers, what are you doing? Anyway, he says, I brought some clothes for you. I don't know if they'll be comfortable for you, but I brought them according to your size, height, etc. And he says, here, take this dress too. Wear it if you want. It's your favorite dress. The girl says, yeah, okay, but what is this? I don't know how to wear it. The boy says, you don't know how to wear it? What kind of girl are you? What kind of woman are you? Then he says, okay, fine, I'll show you a video. Watch that and learn. Here, take this, it's all girl stuff. I don't need it. Learn at your pace. And he hands it to her, blushing. The girl looks at it. Anyway, he thinks, maybe I should teach her computer skills. Then he sees she's feeling very tired. Then he asks, didn't you sleep last night? Or do you want to say something? The girl asks, what is your world status? Now this sudden question. The guy says, well, I'm a graduate but unemployed. So yeah, I've given exams but don't have a job. Now the girl thinks in her mind, is this guy rich? He says, no, nothing like that. Then she thinks, maybe he's a landlord's son. Then she starts reading the book again, looking at pictures and stuff, historical ones. Then she starts crying and thinks, how can I go back? How can I return? Then the boy says, I don't know, but yeah, it might be hard to go back. Then the girl says, I remember last night I was chasing a thief and it was raining a lot. Then I saw a big house. And the guy says, there's no jungle or anything around here. Anyway, he says, forget about leaving, first learn to live here. She says, I have more questions. She asks, what is your military ranking? He says, military ranking? I don't really know. Why, do you know how to fly or something? The girl says, yeah, I can jump till there. The guy says, till where? The girl says, till the 4th floor. The guy is shocked. You can jump up to the 4th floor? He says, so you know dragon palm and stuff? She says, what is that? He says, look, I can teach you. Can I learn? She says, well, you're already kind of old, but still, I don't know if you'll achieve it. The boy says, oh, no worries, I'll achieve it. I'm already very talented. Starts praising himself. Now the girl says, okay, let's do this. She shows him some practice moves, says, I practiced martial arts like this. So this is waist, and this is hip, etc., shows that type of stance. The boy says, wait, can't you stop all this? Please. The girl says, how will you learn without practice? The boy starts folding his hands and says, well, how long will I have to practice? The girl says, I think for 3 years. The boy thinks to himself, man, if I practice for 3 years, I'll join the army. He gets excited and says, can I learn sword fighting? The girl says, forget it. You're also a fancy person. Your hands and eyes are not steady. The boy thinks, what kind of girl is this? She's totally roasting me. Then he says, okay, you go and change your dress. The girl says, all right. Now the boy says, this is the right moment, brother. I mean, look at her eyes, they're too dangerous. But instead of going toward the girl, he moves toward the sword. He picks up the sword and says, now I'll definitely learn sword fighting, etc., and starts practicing. What you all are seeing isn't reality, it's his imagination. He says, this is too heavy. I can't handle it. Then the girl comes back and says, I've changed. Now we're shown how pretty she looks. Man, if only I had a girlfriend like that, it would be amazing. She says, I tried it, it's really nice and fits perfectly. She turns her head and her hair flies around. The boy says, oh man, what are you looking around for? Then he says, I forgot to bring your hairband. The girl says, oh, the hairband? Here you go, and hands it to him herself, saying, this is the one you were talking about, right? Now look at how cute she looks. The boy thinks, how can girls be so smart and intelligent? Even though she's from 1200 years ago, she's still so smart. That's all he says, and then the environment is shown. It's evening now. The girl is shocked in disbelief and says, what is this? The boy asks, is this real? The girl says, yes, it's real. She asks, is this the power of people from your world? The boy says, yes, this is their power. Then he says, no, this is all fake, like in the film industry. The girl asks, so what do you mean? Is all this real or fake? The boy says, no. Yes. The girl asks, so is this fake or real? The boy says, the martial art is real, I mean fake, and the rest I said is real. Basically, all this is just girly stuff like clothing videos and all that, which he is showing her. The boy asks, are you understanding this? The girl says, yes, I understand. The boy blushes and thinks, what kind of girl is she? Then he asks, did your leader or gang members also move like this? The girl says, yes, they used to move kind of like this too. Now the boy asks, were they all Superman? The girl says, yes, they were all Superman, but they focused on their strength, etc. She says, I don't know what kind of things these are. It looks like technique but feels kind of impossible. The boy agrees, yeah, I feel the same. Suddenly, a light bulb goes off in his head. He starts imagining again. He thinks, moving your hands really fast looks so cool, like making them look blurry. He keeps thinking. The girl asks, what? Then she thinks, let me try and show him. The boy says, all right, show me. The girl stands up, and we're shown that she does the same hand and foot movements. The boy is shocked and says, whoa, how did you do that? The girl says, like that one. He says, yes, exactly like that. The girl says, Just tell me when you want to learn, I'll teach you. Don't worry. I'll teach you the whole method. The boy claps and gets happy. As the girl walks ahead, he gets even more excited and happy, thinking, now I'll learn too, etc. Suddenly the girl finds a ball and asks, what is this thing? We see that it's a cat playing with the ball. The cat comes meowing and stands in front of her. The girl closes the door and starts thinking, what kind of world is this? It feels very strange. She feels this world is very scary, very dangerous, because of the kind of techniques she's seeing. She keeps thinking, this is very suspicious, but it's okay. She grabs her sword tightly and starts practicing her sword fighting. Man, even I deserve a girlfriend like this. Meanwhile, the boy is studying on the computer, watching UFOs and stuff. He says, alright, it's time to sleep now, and thinks to himself, it's incredible that in the other room of my house, there's a girl, such a beautiful one. Thinking all this, he falls asleep. He wonders, what must this girl be doing now, and falls asleep thinking that. Next, we're shown the morning. It's morning now. He says, what time is it? He sees that it's almost 7 o'clock. He says, oh man, I overslept. Then he opens the door and enters the main building. He enters the room and thinks, let's take her out for a walk now. Then he was saying, use your eyes and ears, don't use your mouth at all, okay? And anyway, everything is safe outside, there's no need to be scared. Okay, got it, the girl said. He said, yeah, okay, and then he started taking her photo, such a cute one. And man, she looks so cute in the picture. Mine never turn out like that, but anyway, no worries. She asked, what happened? He replied, nothing. Now give me a nice smile. She gave such a scary smile. He said, scary? Okay, no problem. Just don't smile like that in front of others, or they'll go crazy out of fear. Then he said, everything outside is safe, so throw down your sword. She replied, sword down? He said, oh come on, everyone's like me out here, completely weak. You can knock them out with just one punch. She asked, just one punch? Then he took her photo again from the side this time, and even from the side she looked cute. What can I even say? He said, come on, stay behind me, alright? She looked around, and then they showed us how they were stepping out of the house, and he was still explaining things like to a child. He said, look, this is the micro-district. People live here and so on. Then he said, look, this is the road entrance. A scooter was coming and the girl panicked. He said, relax. Then he started thinking, if I wasn't here, what would have happened to her? Right then they ran into the same guard and that auntie. The auntie said, oh, this is the same girl who was standing there. He asked, auntie, what happened to you? Auntie said, this girl looks familiar. The guard asked, hey, is she your girlfriend? The boy said, no. Then the auntie said, yes, I saw her with a sword. The guard asked, sword? What sword? He quickly said, no, that was cosplay. We were just playing cosplay. The auntie said, yeah, I know. My sons do that too. He said, oh, okay, cosplay. Then he grabbed her hand and quickly dragged her away, saying, let's go, man, we're leaving. As they left, the guard said, these kids and their pairs, back in our days, we never had such things. We used to be shy, but these kids are openly romancing. Then they went to the side, and the girl pulled her hand away. He said, are you crazy? He saw you with a sword. Good thing I handled it, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Then he said, look. The girl said, that car is going so fast. He said, yeah, it's called a car. It has 4 wheels. Think of it like horses in your time. She started imagining horses. Men calling a car a bike. I don't even know what to say. He said, can you see that? Those are eyes. If you do anything weird, like jumping or running, it will see you and throw you in jail. He tried to scare her, and she got nervous. He started explaining, but she began walking ahead. He kept saying, where are you going? She picked up a stone and was about to throw it, to attack the thing's eyes. He said, hey, what are you doing with that stone? Then she said, don't think like that, we'll get into trouble. The police will arrest us and throw us in jail. Are you really thinking of destroying it? The boy said, am I crazy to even be talking to her? Just throw the stone away. Poor guy, must be thinking where did these 2 birds from 1200 years ago drop in from. Then he took her to a heavy traffic area. He said, look, this is a traffic light. See the red and green light? When it's red, we stop. When it's green, we walk. It's even written in the law, alright? Otherwise we'll get in trouble. We have to follow it. Then the green light turned on. He said, let's go now. She was just looking around and quietly following him. Then she looked up at a lamp, saw the light glowing. Sometimes she looked at shops, sometimes at cars. Everything felt so new to her. Well, after all, 1,200 years ago everything was tiny and simple. Then suddenly a dog started barking at her. He said, should I put a leash on her? And thought about how it would look. Then he thought, no, this is too much. Let's drop it. She was watching him wondering what he was even doing. Then we saw that he had gone to a ring shop and was thinking of buying her something to put in her hair, like whatever girls wear. I have no idea, maybe a hairband or something. He held it up and asked, do you like this? She looked at it and started tugging on it. He said, man, I must be mad to have given this to her. Then she tied it super quickly on her head, and the guy was shocked. Even I was shocked. He said, wow, it suits you really well. Then evening came and they went to eat lunch. He gave the order to the chef. The chef said, no problem, we'll bring your food soon. They sat at the desk. He said, look, this is the place where we eat. First, we get the food, then we pay afterward, okay? He explained that all this food and stuff is for eating. The girl was just looking around quietly, like, what is all this? Total chaos. She didn't say anything. Poor girl was in shock. She was just thinking, what kind of place is this? And he was thinking, I don't think she's doing too well with all this. I thought it would be easy for her, but it's getting too complicated. Then the food came, and the girl panicked again. He said, hey, the food is here. Don't worry, let's eat. She asked, okay, so we eat this? I don't even know, man. Then he said, say thank you at least. She replied, okay, thank you. Meanwhile, Sue was just staring at them while sipping his drink. He thought, everything is too complicated for her, but it's okay, I'll help her. Then Sue said, this is salad. We eat it one by one, see? And they ate like gluttons, didn't even ask me. But no worries. Then he said, boss, give the check. I'll pay. After coming outside, he said, I'm totally full now. Let's go home. They got home and he started washing his hands and face. Then he asked her, do you trust me now? And she was still lost, like a missing person. Just turning her head around, unsure of where to go or what to do. Then the boy started explaining again. He said, look, this is a peaceful area. We have computers, food, alcohol, coke and stuff like that. Come outside. We live peacefully here. So now the real question is, should I make your ID card too, so you can enjoy all this? He started saying things like that. Would you like the next part of the story translated as well? Now that poor girl is still in shock. She's still shocked that how did those 1,200-year-old things come here, and she just keeps saying, I want to go home, but I can't. What will I do? And he is saying, yeah, that's right. You're a girl from 1,200 years ago. After all, how did you even come here? Anyway, then she asks, identity card? What identity card? Sue says, yes, that identity card. Though I don't think making your identity card will be that easy, but okay, I'll definitely help you. Now he says that. The girl, blushing, starts saying, very, very thank you, young hero, and all that. Sue says, yeah, okay, piece of cake, and all that. Then he says, come on, as you saw yesterday, I ordered food using my ID card. Then the girl says, which card? I threw that into the trash. The boy says, where did you throw it? She says, yeah, I threw it into the trash. The boy says, what? You threw it in the trash? That was my Aadhaar card, man. Then she brings that card and the boy says, yeah, see this. Then the girl asks, what's the use of this? The boy says, you can do some job and all with it easily. If you don't have it, you won't be able to get a job, nor will you be able to sleep anywhere, you'll have to sleep on the road. Now he starts daydreaming that she won't be able to go anywhere, can't travel here and there. Then he snaps out of it and says, see, that's the value of this card. The girl says, oh, is that so? Identity cards are that important? The boy says, yes, they are used in so many things. Now he starts registering her. He's just about to start registering her when the girl pulls out a sword. The boy says, hey crazy, forget this stuff here. Everything is registered electronically. Go do your study. She says, okay, let's go, and she's just in complete shock. Then after a while she says, am I treating you like a brother? Since I'm living here, does that mean you're my brother? The boy says, it's not a problem. You can live here as long as you want, Then he says, "Oh, I forgot to feed you." Then the cat comes to him and starts meowing. He says, "Oh, I forgot to feed you." Then he says, "Go now, it's time for your study, go and study." Then the girl says, "Okay, I'll have to study." And the boy says, "Man, I couldn't find anything useful to make her an identity card." Then he looks at the phone at home and sees it's 10 o'clock. Just then he gets a call from his friend and thinks, "Oh wow, he's a police officer and also a government official. Maybe he can help me." Then he thinks, if I tell him about her, he might get mad, and all that. Then he thinks, alright. We see through the chat that his friend is calling him over for tea, and he agrees. Then he thinks, come on, he's a police officer, he'll surely help me out. And thinking this, he goes to take a shower. Now he's getting completely naked, forgetting that there's a girl with him. He thinks, oh yeah, maybe she's gone to bathe. He starts thinking all that and realizes, oh, I forgot to bring her pajamas. How could I forget I'm living with a girl? Now he's thinking that when suddenly the boy runs off because the girl is also bathing. He's now thinking, how could I forget I'm living with a girl? Then he says, thank God, she didn't see me, otherwise who knows what she would have thought about me, and all that. Then we're shown that the girl is already done bathing. And I didn't really understand this scene, what was the point of it? Anyway, we're shown that it's around 10 o'clock, and the girl is calmly bathing, all chill. What are you people looking at? Don't look at these kinds of things. They're showing too much right now. Anyway, all that aside, then he shows her a tape recorder or typewriter or whatever it is and says, look, this is for typing, for writing. And the girl says, oh, it's for writing? I can write here. The boy says, yes, you can write one word at a time. Just then the cat comes again meowing. The boy says, oh, I forgot to feed you. Come on, time to feed you. Now he starts feeding the cat. Then the girl says, 1 second, what is this? What is this thing? The boy says, it's cat food. The girl asks, cat food? Does this grow on trees too? The boy says, crazy, nothing like that. It's just manufactured, okay? Just then his food delivery arrives. The food guy comes and the girl says, oh, dinner is here too. All right then. Then Sue says, I'll tell you how you can call me if I'm not home someday. He starts explaining it to her, and the girl is just eating pizza and looking really cute. He even says, wow, how cute she looks. Just then, the cat comes to her again meowing. Now she's looking at the cat and asking, can I feed it some of my pizza or burger? The boy says, no, don't feed it burger. It eats cat food. The girl asks, why? The boy says, because it's unhealthy. It's not good for its health. Now the poor girl gets shocked. The girl says, so all this time I've been eating unhealthy food? These hamburgers aren't fit for me, and so on. She starts thinking again. The girl gets really irritated and says, are you feeding me unhealthy food? Anyway, then the boy says, look, I made your ID. Now you can send me mail, okay? Then he says, if there's any problem, send me mail or message me. Then he leaves the house and starts thinking, will this girl be able to manage? Will she be fine without me? Anyway, he's reached his friend's place, because his friend had called him, not for tea but for alcohol. For now, he doesn't find his friend and just sees that he's calling him from over there. Then he says, dude, why are you sitting in such darkness? And he says, it was a little hard to find you. The friend says, yeah, I know. It's kind of dark here, but that's okay. I like it. Come sit. I'll serve you, meaning he's talking about serving alcohol. For now, Sue asks, can cops drink alcohol too? Now the friend says, crazy, I'm not on duty right now. Stop asking these stupid questions, okay? Look at my dress. I look like an ordinary person. Stop asking those stupid questions. Then the guy says, okay, fine. Let me order food for you, and he starts ordering food and all. This is the food, and man, my mouth is watering. Anyway, no problem. Look how they're eating like gluttons. For now, he says, come on, tell me. How's your job going? How are you doing as a cop? Are you enjoying? Then the friend says, don't even ask, man, and he starts pouring out his sorrow and pain and all. For now, he says, I'm the one who has all the problems in life. Sometimes I'm stopping divorces, making peace between couples, then sometimes I'm making peace between an uncle and his kids. My life's become totally messed up, man. I don't even understand what I thought and what it's turned into. Finally, I don't get anything at all anymore. The boy says, okay, fine, no problem, what did you think? Then he tells him that he didn't really think about anything special. He thought he would become a brave police officer, so brave that he could climb up and jump down. Like, what kind of logic is this? Anyway, this is his logic. He thinks he will protect his girlfriend by jumping from the top or something like that. I don't know what he said. Now Sue tells him, man, you're completely crazy, and he's saying, yeah, think whatever you want. Sue is thinking, should I tell him about that girl? Is it possible? I mean, would it be right? Then he thinks, stop dreaming, this guy is just one of those guys. I don't think he's going to help me. Then he turns his face to the side and says, I have something to tell you. The friend asks, what is it? Tell me now. Sue says, imagine a guy, okay, and he's lost all his memories and he wants to make an identity card for work. So is that possible? The friend says, a new card? That's probably not going to happen because he doesn't have any proof. So how will he get a new card? And what do you think? Can he do anything? He's completely useless, he can't do anything. Sue says, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, so how will the identity card be made? Tell me. The friend says, what do you mean, do you have that person? Where have you hidden him? Now the police mode switches on again, like when he's a cop. His police mode starts again. He says, which friend? Tell me where he's staying. Sue says, oh, why are you talking nonsense? I have a neighbor, his uncle's son, meaning he's making excuses, saying it's his friend, so he's my friend, right? Now he's talking like this, trying to deflect. The friend says, okay, but what if you encounter him, then how will you identify him? Sue says, I don't think he will need to be encountered unless he creates some crime. If that guy commits any crime, then he'll need to be caught. The friend says, and why are you acting so weird? Tell me. Sue says, I don't know, I'm just asking. Then the friend says, an ordinary person wouldn't do this. Sue says, I'm not acting weird, and you keep your police stuff to yourself, I'm just asking for advice. Then the friend says, yeah, you're right, you're asking me for advice, and I'm acting like a weirdo. Sorry about that. Then he starts giving him a drink and Sue says, I don't even know what I should do. The friend says, man, you're a cop, what's with all these weird questions? Sue says, alright, fine, I'll change the topic. Anyway, I didn't have any topic, that's why I asked these questions. Then Sue says, if you have to put handcuffs on me, what would you do? The friend says, what nonsense are you talking? First, I would never investigate you. And forget all this, your brother is still alive. Sue says, yeah, okay, now what about the identity card? The friend says, there's no way. Look, if I hold this knife in my hand and stab you in the stomach, like, I kill you and then what? I get a plastic surgery after killing someone, will I be caught? Sue says, don't kill me, kill someone else. The friend says, okay, I killed someone else, and then after killing him, I get plastic surgery. What do you think, will I get caught? Sue says, if the person lost his memory and there's no valid proof, then how would there be any record? How would we know anything about his past? The friend says, look, there's a golden rule. Stop dreaming, okay? And you're acting really weird. I think you're showing some cop heat now. Sue says, yeah, I think I am too, but anyway, I'm doing some nonsense right now. Then the friend says, okay, bring the bill. Sue says, no, I'll pay. They reach the counter, and the friend asks, how much is it? The cashier says, your total is 128 yuan. The friend says, there's an offer, so after paying 100 yuan, you get extra things with it. Sue says, wow, so I can give this to my cat. Then he starts thinking again and says, okay, pack this all up. Then he says, bye, see you later. The friend says, yeah, it seems like I've got a big issue in my hands, but it's interesting, feels like it's fun. He leaves singing a song, thinking about himself and the girl, and saying, man, this guy's in a romantic mood, what's he thinking? Anyway, he's coming home now and says, I'm back, and it's 10 o'clock. He says, oh, she's asleep. The girl is snoring and he says, man, she looks so cute while sleeping. He thinks, what is this feeling? It feels like her feelings are waking up. Is she going to do something weird? But he thinks to himself, no, she won't. I'm Sue, the hero. Then he goes to her and she says, oh, you're back, awkwardly. Sue says, yeah, I'm back and I brought food for you because you must be hungry. She says, thank you. Sue acts like he's surprised and says, you're going to thank me, huh? She says, yes, thank you, young hero Sue. He says, this is like child's play. He asks again. She says, "Did you drink?" He says, "No, not much, just a bottle with my friend." She smells something and says, "It smells like alcohol." He opens the yogurt pack and says, "This is yogurt, we have to eat it by licking it. Eat it quickly or it will go bad." Then he starts licking it and says, "Hey, try it, don't just watch." She tries it and says, "It's tasty." Sue says, "How is it good?" Then he says, "Okay, perfect, eat it. I'll be back in a minute." As he walks away, he thinks, "What a nice feeling, I'm coming home, and someone's waiting for me. Life is good." Then the scene shifts, and he's thinking, is she still studying? He wonders how good the sound is from the other room. He goes inside and asks, "What did you do with the piece?" He's talking about the bra, and the girl says, "I don't know where I put it." She imagines what she should do with it. Sue says, "What are you talking about?" He quickly regrets asking and they both get embarrassed. She says, "Okay, I'll tell you how to use the hairdryer." Then they show it's 10 o'clock, and the girl is looking at the dress Sue bought for her. She's thinking, if I wear this, I'll become like this fairy, angry and all. She throws the dress aside. Now she's thinking, should I take a shower every day? She's asking herself, am I lucky to have a young hero like Sue who always helps me? I don't know how long this will last, and I don't understand how this world works. She keeps asking herself these questions. As time passed, morning came. She woke up and looked very cute. Meanwhile, the boy says, "Good morning." The girl asks, "Are you working again?" The boy replies, No, I was just watching some news." The girl, with irritation, says, "Are you making fun of me?" The boy replies, No, I was just watching some news, it helps to improve the mood in the morning. By the way, for your identity card, how can I restore it? Are you hungry? Let me make you breakfast." The girl says, "It's okay." The boy says, "Okay, take care, and also watch some news." He then goes outside, smiling and laughing, looking quite handsome. Meanwhile, the watchman comes and says, "Little Sue." The boy asks, "What happened, Auntie? Is there a problem?" The auntie is in a dangerous situation and asks, "Do you know what happened last night?" "Something strange happened." He asks, "What strange thing happened last night?" She says, "Her dog started barking." "Is there any reason?" The boy says, Yes, I saw too. This place is becoming haunted, my dog has been barking for 3 or 4 days, I don't know why." The boy asks, "Have you ever seen anything, uncle?" The watchman replies, "I didn't notice anything like that, but maybe the CCTV cameras noticed it, let's check." They think that a ghost might have come there. But it's not a ghost, it's a girl, who is his girlfriend, or will be his girlfriend. For now, they are looking at the CCTV footage on the computer mouse and see something flying in the air. Look, that black thing flying in the air, that's it. He realizes that it is the same girl. Everyone else gets scared, but Sue understands that it's the girl who is flying. He wonders, how is she doing these things behind my back? They start thinking it's a ghost, but Sue asks, "Uncle, do you believe it? This happened last night." The watchman says, "I don't remember." Sue says, Okay, let's think about it, maybe the ghost passed by." The watchman agrees, "It's possible, maybe the ghost passed by." Sue says, "Okay, I will keep my eyes open for the next 2 or 3 days." Sue goes inside and shouts to the girl, "Did you go outside 3 or 4 days ago or at some point?" The girl asks, "How do you know?" Sue says, "I saw you." The girl says, "Yes, I did, I was wearing a black outfit, but I covered my face. There's nothing to worry about." Sue says, "Okay, this girl has some brains." Sue says, "If you need to go anywhere, just tell me, I will take you." The girl asks, "Did you face any problem?" Sue replies, "No, nothing like that, but I handled the situation. I told them it's a ghost." The girl asks, "Ghost? Which ghost?" Sue explains by searching something online. He shows it to her and says, "Look, the things you were doing, people would call the police. Then they would arrest you, beat you, and maybe kill you." The girl gets scared hearing this. She starts tightening her clothes and says, "Oh no, something bad will happen to me." Sue says, "No problem, I'm here, I will help you." Then he asks, "Okay, tell me, what do you want to eat? Burger, chicken?" The girl looks at him lovingly and romantically and says, "No, something healthy." Sue replies, "Okay, for healthy, you can eat cat food." She gives him a teasing look. This episode ends here. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. Meanwhile, the scene shifts and they are going to do laundry. which means today could be Saturday, because I always do my laundry on Saturdays. Anyway, the guy was saying, do you need to wash clothes too? Look, this is called a washing machine, okay? You put clothes inside it. The girl was saying, can I wash my clothes too? The guy says, yeah, of course, you can bring your clothes too. Then he says, look, this is detergent, okay? It cleans the clothes. She quickly runs off and comes back fast. Like, look at her speed, bro. Anyway, I won't call her sister, I'll try to flirt too. Though it's a manhwa, for now she puts her clothes in. Then the guy says, hey, what is this thing? You brought all your clothes. Then he picks up one item of clothing and the girl gets angry seeing it. She says, what did you pick up? She snatches it away quickly and runs off. I don't know what it was. The guy is saying, what happened to her? It feels like something went wrong. Then he says, her leg looks fine, but what suddenly happened to her? Then he starts searching something on the internet. Then he says, man, this is so weird. Now he's thinking in his mind. Then he starts asking, are your legs okay? Can you show me? The girl straight up refuses, says no. Now bro, I didn't understand what this scene even was. Anyway, he asks, is that thing okay too? Now here, what does he mean by thing? Bro, let me explain a little. The guy is then shocked. He starts thinking, how would she, what if she, I mean what should I even explain? Then he says, are they small? Like, bro, what should I say? You people read it yourself, okay? Then he just keeps thinking and saying, man, what a big idiot I am, etc., etc. He starts thinking this. Then while he's still thinking, suddenly the girl says, enough is enough. You've annoyed me too much now. Bro, this girl is both blushing and angry at the same time. I don't know what the scene is. Suddenly she stands up with a sword and says, guju guju. Whatever that means, she says it in her mind. And she's standing there with a sword saying, you buffalo-legged idiot, how are you bothering me like this? I mean, she's standing with a sword, but she doesn't say much and just walks off again. Of course, she also knows that the guy is a good person, not bad at heart. Then the guy starts thinking, saying, look, do you even know how beautiful girls are so nice, etc., etc. He starts complimenting and says that there's a state called Chu where they live. I mean, the guy is saying this and trying to explain that beautiful girls do this, and he says, their eyes are like this, their skin is like that, and basically he's complimenting. He says that when she smiles, it feels like some huge fairy-type girl and I can't even praise that much. Anyway, he was saying that and this girl imagines herself. Maybe she's thinking she could be that type of girl. Like, bro, look at her imagination, she's thinking she could be his wife. Then he says, 5 things, see how incredible it is. Anyway, then he says, how would it feel if I married some unattractive woman? Like, wouldn't that feel terrible? All my love would just be over. Then he says, I like warrior-type girls. He's basically flirting, bro. In guy language, that means he's flirting with my girl. He says, stay away from her. Whatever, what's yours and mine, everything is mine. Anyway, the girl doesn't know yet. Right now he was saying, in your time, things must have happened like, let's say someone is in debt. Then they'd be told if you can't pay the debt, then fine, become my servant. Like in the next life, you'll be my servant. He's saying that kind of stuff. Then he says, well, I don't have anything, so you can take my body and soul and my heart too. Now the girl angrily says, who wants your body, you nasty leech? She's saying that to him. The guy says, hey, I was just joking. It's just joking. Now he brings his cat back and says, okay, it's my fault. Okay, calm down. Anyway, what can we say, bro? Meanwhile, it's shown he was saying, look, watch this video. This video will show you how you can wear it, etc., etc. He was saying, I'll come back in 5 minutes, you watch the video. Okay, now it's shown he comes back after 5 minutes and asks her. Then the girl says, man, people these days are so weird. Do they wear things like this? How awkward and strange. The guy says, what's strange about it? They're comfortable, they enjoy it. It's just normal. Now the girl says, shameless. This is very shameless behavior. This generation is just so shameless. Then she's saying that and the guy says, look, girls show whatever they want. It's their choice, to hide or not to hide. Okay? What's your problem in that? If guys can cover up, then why can't girls show? Now he starts yelling at her. Now the girl says, that's just. Then she says, I don't accept this. Now she says, this is just unacceptable. Now the guy is yelling at her, then the guy says, okay, if you don't like it, fine. Forget it. Let's do something else. Now what are they doing? Like, what are you even thinking, bro? Anyway, he says, look, there are a lot of things in a computer. There are games in it too. So what do you think? Do you even know? Playing games. 90% of people feel relaxed playing games, okay? Research shows this. So, look, this is how you play a game, that's how you play it. He starts showing her and the game is Super Mario. Bro, he really is Superman. It was a very popular game. Anyway, I used to play it too. Right now the girl just gets into the game and starts playing. Now the guy is saying, do it like this, do it like that. Basically he's teaching her and the girl is learning. Anyway, the guy says, good, I got her busy with the game. Otherwise, this girl would have started thinking again, like shouting, how do I go? What should I do? Should I practice martial arts? Or insist on going home? Basically, she'd be thinking a lot of things. Right now he's just thinking in his mind that, bro, this is good. Then suddenly he comes and says, okay, that's enough. You've been playing for an hour now. Already 1 hour is done. Anyway, he says, come on, how about I teach you this next game?